This is a Lawful Stupid RPG production.
Lawful Stupid RPG is proud to be sponsored by Kraken Dice.
What dice?
Oh, hi, Blip. Dice are, they're like rocks with numbers on them that you throw.
Blip like throw things.
Yes, we know, Blip. Visit their website at krakendice.com and use our special discount code GETSTUPID to get 15% off your entire purchase, including sale items.
Blip not stupid, Onweir. You stupid.
No, Blip. Get Stupid is our special discount code.
Oh, what discount?
It means you pay 15% less for rocks that you can throw.
How much 15?
It's a lot. Why don't you go in the corner and count to 15, and you can come back when you're done.
Okay. 1 and 1 and 1.
That's KRAKENDICE.com. Now, please enjoy the show while I grind some herbs for this throbbing headache.
1 and 1.
Hail and well met, and welcome to Dragonlance Echoes of Krynn, Dragons of the Hidden Flood, a D&D podcast presented by Lawful Stupid RPG. This podcast is an actual game of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, played by a group of friends, professional performers, and voice actors with a passion for role-playing, improvisational storytelling, and dice rolling. We'll begin in just a moment, but first, our players.
Hello, I'm Jade, and I'm one of the founders of Lawful Stupid RPG. I've been a huge Dragonlance fan since the beginning, and producing this podcast has been a dream come true for me. I will be playing the dwarf of the party named Farron, and I hope the stories we tell sparkle in your hearts like the brightest gems Riox ever dreamed of.
I am Panda. I am a Twitch streamer who goes by the username CirqueDuPanda, and
I'm playing Teely Tumblewood, your resident Kender who will try only a little bit not to annoy you.
Howdy, my name is Samus. I am a professional opera singer, and I am playing the
Mysterious and slightly grumpy one-armed archer who calls himself Onweir.
Hello, I am Chael, and I am not an opera singer. And I will be playing Blip with her awesome animal companion, Dinner, the amazing barbarian duo.
Greetings, I'm Chops. I'm a Vegas showman as well as a ghost hunter, and I'll be playing Lhasa, a half-elven wizard who will prove his worth to the world.
Hello, I am Lindsay Rousseau. I am a voice actor and host of The Rollout on YouTube, and I am playing Manto Bubulina, who has a dark secret that only my best friend Blip knows.
And I'm Mr. Eager DM. I'm here to guide and to follow. Now, I invite you all to step with me into fantasy, and for our time together, let imagination rule. Last time, in the imperial city of Gwynedd at the Grand Theatre Spire, the curtain rose and the opera The Champions of the Lance began. Farron, Onweir, and Lhasa watched from their box in the audience as Teely and Manto performed. Meanwhile, beneath the stage, Blip discovered a plot that promised a night of violence, and as the first act of the opera was finishing, masked assassins set fire to the theater and charged towards the stage. I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Oh boy!
Oh boy. I am cursed today.
do you know what? Tell us what you want to roll and we'll roll it for you.
Right? This is out of control. I have rolled single digits except for one roll, and most of them have been 5 or below.
Oh, buddy, no, I'm sorry.
These things happen.
Yes.
If it makes you feel better, I rolled a 4.
Well, a 4.08.
Yeah, I feel a bit better now.
Beautiful, beautiful 10.
Myself as well.
At the top of the order, we have Teely. It is impossible for you to mistake the large explosion or large burst of flame that rises up in the back. It is bright. You see it clearly, and you can see the entire audience silhouetted in front of it. As it does go up, you can see that moving forward through the audience are individuals wearing dark clothing. They appear to be armed. There are several that are coming up onto the stage that have short swords, and then others that are standing in the audience, raising bows, ready to fire at individuals both on stage and in the audience.
I am going to... Is there anyone who looks like they're coming from me specifically?
No.
No. Okay. I will...
Actually, if you wish, you may make a perception check to see who they might be going for.
I will do that.
All right, go for it.
That's a 3 on the dice, so I don't think it's going to be great.
3 on the dice. You have a total of...
That is 7.
All right, you have no idea who they might be going for.
I run on over next to Manto and reach into one of my pouches and pull out a small rock that I will place in the sling of my hoopak. I, keeping a little bit of distance, will begin to spin the hoopak, and it makes that ghostly whistle, high-pitched noise. And I try and aim at an assassin who is in front of me. Let me roll my sling. That's a 9 to hit.
All right, a 9 does not hit as you swing your hoopak and the rock goes flying into the audience, missing the assassin.
Sorry!
Very good. Anything else from you, Teely?
I pat Manto on the leg. And I just say,
I know it's not a real sword, but you got this.
and I will give you some bardic inspiration. You have 1d6.
Thank you.
Appropriately, Manto, it is your turn next.
Yes. So I will raise this sword in the air and I'm banging it on the shield. And at the top of my lungs, I will yell, Est solaris ot mithas!
Very nice. This sword in your hand is not going to be useful as an actual sword. It counts as a club for the purposes of this combat, if you wish to continue using it.
I very much, obviously, am happy to have something in my hands, but my goal is going to be, as quickly as possible, disarm one of these assassins to take their sword.
I completely understand. It makes perfect sense. They are coming at you, and as you are getting ready to fight, you can hear the sound of a door or something opening behind you.
So you said this is the equivalent of a great club?
Equivalent of a club, so that you can actually use it and your shield if you wish.
Okay, great.
Also, this armor that you are wearing, although it is designed to look like plate mail armor, is actually no more effective than the armor that you were wearing while you were in the bump mine.
So I am... Jeez, those are really the stats for a club. Oh my goodness. Like at this point, my unarmed strike is almost better.
If it makes you feel any better, I have no weapons, no spells, and my unarmed strike does 0 damage, so good luck.
Yes. With this club, I am going to attack the assassin that is closest to me. Is that the one that Teely had just attacked?
Yes, that would definitely be the one closest to you. He's climbing up over the edge of the stage, trying to get onto the same surface as you all are to attack with his short sword.
Okay, so he is climbing up with the sword in one hand and, like, his hands on the stage, still mid-climb?
Yeah, the stage is not that high up, so he's able to put one hand on it. It looks like he's about to vault up onto the stage with the rest of his body, holding the short sword in his other hand.
Okay. I am going to then, taking this wooden sword that I have, I am going to strike him right on the head, attempting to dazzle him or daze him so I can grab his sword from his other hand.
Go for it. Roll your attack.
Yes. So that is going to be 15 to hit.
That is a hit.
Great. So that's the club, so that's just a d4. That is going to be 5 points of damage, of clubbing damage, to try and knock him out.
Very good. As the club comes crashing down, are you purposely doing non-lethal damage?
Oh no, I'm purposely, since I can't stab or slash or anything, I'm specifically targeting the head, knowing that that's where I can do the most damage with this club weapon, and also hoping that by dazing him, I have enough time to be able to grab the actual sword from his hand. However you would like that to play out, though, DM, I will defer to you.
All right, well, you do smack him in the head with your, or you try to smack him in the head with your club, but as he climbs on, he's able to dodge out of the way of most of the blow, taking it on his shoulder. You do hear a crack, and he grunts as he climbs up. You look at him, and you see that his entire face is covered with a dark cloth, as is his head, and there is a dark patch painted around his eyes, so his face is entirely black. As he comes up, he brings out the short sword to attack you. You have not done enough damage to knock him senseless, but you have damaged him.
Okay, I would like to action surge.
All right.
And I'm going to go in for another attack.
Don't forget you have your bardic inspiration.
And I am going to roll that. So that is going to be 13 to hit.
That is a hit.
Oh, it is? Okay, wonderful. So that is going to be 4 points of damage.
Okay. Another crack. You hit him, but he's able to dodge to the side as well. As you hit his other shoulder, he grunts, pulling himself up onto the stage, up to a standing position, but he is still there, although he is looking very wobbly.
And that is my turn, and watching him wobble, I'm just going to raise this very lovely shield in front of me, which I assume has the same stats as my other shield for the purpose of this combat.
Correct.
Okay, great. Yeah, so then I'm just going to get a defensive position with the shield in front of me.
All right, so after hitting him twice with your fake sword, he has definitely withered under the blows, but he's still standing as he steps up and steadies himself and tries to slice at you with this short sword. Blow comes down, hitting AC 19 for a hit, I do believe.
That will hit, yes.
Doing 3 points of slashing damage against you. As he finishes his attack on you, Manto, the other fellow moving off of the bottom part of the audience and up onto the stage, completes his vault and begins to run towards the person playing Raceland, who puts up their hands in a defensive position. The assassin comes forward and attempts to attack him, but he turns his blade to try and hit it with the flat to knock this person senseless as opposed to do damage, and he is missed with an 8. As he finishes his blow, the back of the stage, there is a creaking sound as a trapdoor opens in the floor, and out creep 2 other assassins, which move into the room, one towards you, Teely, the other one towards the fellow playing Raceland. Both of them concluding their action by moving onto the stage. In the audience, there are arrows that begin to fly. You can see as they fly out of the assassins' bows, there is flame and light on the front of them as they appear to be trying mostly to create other fires by firing the arrows into tapestries and other things that look flammable as opposed to trying to hit other people. There is a great deal of screaming and commotion from the other side of the auditorium and the shout of, "To the Emperor! To the Emperor! Protect the Emperor!" as the individuals on the other side of the auditorium begin to deal with foes of their own. It's going to be their turn. That brings us to the fellow who is backstage who entered with the person playing Raceland as he runs forward to the individual's side, wielding a longsword, brings it down, hitting AC 20, doing 8 points of slashing damage, which nearly takes off the arm of the individual that just tried to attack this person. That is his turn. That brings us to Blip. Blip, you are underneath this all, although you have no way of knowing it. You have seen the feet in front of you scatter this way and that, and you have heard the sound of an opening door of some sort above where you are currently hidden. The room empties, and you are suddenly alone.
I'm going to make sure there's no one around me, and I'm going to jump up, I'm going to brush myself off, and then I'm going to dash into that room.
You dash into this room, looking around. There is a door that is open in the room that leads into parts unknown. You are now definitely out of the sewer. You're not sure what sort of structure you're in. Looking above you, there is an open hatch that leads out of the ceiling. There is a ladder that leads up to it, and you can see figures disappearing outside, and you can hear the grunt of combat. And
where's my bone club? I'm gonna have to make a new one.
Would you like to make a perception check to see if there's anything nearby you could use as a weapon?
Yes, but you know I hate you for that because my perception sucks. That is an 11. That's a -1. It's an 11.
An 11. You look around, you see a large piece of wood. It looks like it might have been, at one point, the leg of some sort of table, but it is just lying on its side, thrown into a corner and forgotten. Could serve as a useful club.
I will pick that up.
All right. As you pick up this club, you can hear the shout of Manto ringing down from above you. Essularus Othbithas, as your friend is above you.
So, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Has Blip heard this before? Is this common for Manto to shout out?
That is a good question, Manto.
I probably would not have shouted it out during one of the combat things, but you definitely would have heard me talking ad nauseum about the War of the Lance and the Knights of Solemnia and Lorana and Sturm Brightblade. So you, if you remembered, would have definitely heard this before.
And regardless, it is definitely Manto's voice, so...
Whirling around, I'm going to look for the source of his voice, and if I can pinpoint Blip, Blip, bonk, and I'll wave the club around, and in a chopping motion going up and down really fast. Blip, bonk! And I'm going to charge towards the sound of his voice.
All right, so that is up the ladder, basically following the dark figures that you've just seen exit from this room up out of the hatch that leads apparently up onto the stage as you appear right behind where these assassins have also come up. But Blip, that is your turn.
Fantastic.
All right, that brings us to Lhasa.
So, just to be clear here, how far from where we are in the box to the stage itself, vertically?
From where you are in the box now, you look down to the stage. It is 25 feet from where you are currently sitting down, and then another further 6 feet from the stage to the floor. Then right in front of the floor is a pit where the musicians were sitting that is another 15 feet down.
Excellent. Firstly, I raise up from the seat immediately and... Farron, Anwir, the man on stage in the gold. He is the prince. We must defend him. Everyone else will have to fend for themselves. This rabble can handle themselves. And with that, I take up a stance, shoulder width apart about, and begin to rotate my hands, palm over palm, in a spiral. And as I do so, I speak. By fates that have been, by fates that will be, thus my heart will strike at thee. And 3 crackling, undulating bolts of energy begin to take form in between my palms, lacing out at a blinding speed towards the assassin, who was recently taken by surprise with the sword of the man rushing onto the stage to the side of the prince.
Yes, I see. So you are attacking the one that has missed the prince and then was attacked by the soldier.
Correct.
Got it. So as you cast your spell, the power shoots out from you, arcing across the stage, and blasts into this individual. Please roll your damage.
That will be 11 damage.
The first strike hits him in the side. He doubles over, dropping his weapon. The second one hits him in his head, and he collapses. The third one hits the limp body as the soldier gasps in surprise and looks squinting up into the box where the power came from, and then turns to continue to defend as one of these assassins has been killed. Anything else, Lhasa?
With a smirk of satisfaction, I begin to move myself towards the hallway and staircase that will lead me down and out of this box.
Just to be clear, that was magic missile?
Yes, it was.
Very good. Excellent. Anwir.
My eyes grow quite wide at the power that emanated from my friend's hands. But I take a minute to steel myself. Not a minute, I take a second to steel myself. And I look around the box, and I'm going to duck down below the curtain and hide first, if I may, with my bonus action.
Very well. Please roll a stealth check. I rolled a 3, so I got an 8. Anwir, something in the air is just not agreeing with you, as you do duck down, but as you do, you misjudge the fact that the seats that you are sitting in were a little bit further down, so they're even further down from the floor that you were standing on. So as you duck down, you are not able to get far enough down to make yourself a unseen target.
In my inability to hide myself, I will take my hand and grab it around the arm of one of the chairs, and I'm going to throw it over the lip of the box at the assassin that is currently facing Monto, about 20 feet away from me.
Well, the chairs are not that heavy. However, it is going to be quite a toss in order to get it the 20 feet that it needs to fly. So, I think first I would like you to roll a strength check to see if you are actually going to be able to just complete with one hand, just throw this.
You hate me. Okay, all right. Strength check. Nope. I rolled a 9. How heavy are these chairs?
That doesn't prevent you from throwing it, so now go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay, is that just a simple d20, I assume?
Yes.
All right.
And then you would be adding your dexterity modifier on top of it.
Well, there we go. I rolled above a 10. I got a 13 plus 3. That's a 16.
So your aim is true as you throw the chair, but you just did not have the strength, the arm strength, to wield this very unwieldy makeshift weapon as it crashes to the ground 10 feet shy of the assassin.
Well, all right. Then with my movement, if I may, I'm going to leap over the balcony and dangle from the lip with one hand to minimize the distance that I'm going to fall. So hopefully that I will be falling 20 feet instead of 25.
So as you come to the lip to look across the auditorium, and you can see that there is a bit of fabric or curtain as the motif of the curtain on the front of the stage continues around to just below the box, looking across the auditorium. You can assume that it is the same underneath the box you are sitting in. So as you leap over the side, you do in fact see there is curtain directly underneath you.
I will attempt to climb down the curtain.
If you want to go at half speed, I will allow you to just climb down. If you want to try and move your entire speed, I will need a athletics check.
I will do it at half speed for safety purposes with one hand.
You grip tightly with your legs and begin to shuffle down, moving with one hand coming down the curtain. So half speed, that is 15 feet. At the end of your turn, you are 10 feet above the stage.
I will drop to the stage.
You land on the stage, 10 feet for free. Please make an acrobatics check.
All right. Well, there's a good time for a crit. I got a 23 on my acrobatics check.
Not only do you land on your feet, but you manage to make yourself look extremely impressive as you do. You are now on the stage, ready for action without a weapon in hand.
Indeed.
Theron, it is your turn.
How can I get down quickly?
You could attempt to do what Anweir just did. It is 25 feet, jumpable, but you will probably take damage.
How would I get down the normal way?
If you were to go the way you came, you could step out of the box to the steps leading down. As you turn the corner to look down the steps behind where you have entered, you could see a guard that is bleeding as he sinks to the ground, and 2 assassins with bows, just having finished shooting him with arrows.
I look at the assassin that just put the final arrow into him, into the guard, and I speak the words Kibil Uzrak Arasi Lukda as I cast Sacred Flame. And that is a Dex save 13.
Was that Dwarvish, Farron?
It was Dwarvish, yes.
Very nice. Dex save 13, you say?
Yes.
That is an 18 on my part. I believe that saves.
Oh, that is a save, yep.
As you say this spell, is there any sort of visual effect that happens?
Grasping my amulet, I obviously speak the words and it doesn't come right, and I question myself if I maybe said the words wrong, and I doubt myself slightly, and it starts to shine a silver glow and then fades.
All right, Farron. That is the end of your turn, I assume?
It is.
Teely.
I am going to do a quick 360 look around and check and make sure no one's gotten closer to me.
The closest one to you is the one that has just come up out of the hatch in the back of the stage.
Right.
Looks around, looks at the target of the individual in the red robes, and looks and sees you appear to be armed, and looks threateningly at you.
All right. I will turn my attention to them. And sorry, just a really quick question.
Sure.
On D&D Beyond, for the Hopak to be used as a staff, it says 1d6 minus 1, but underneath it says 1d8 minus 1. Is that depending if it's one-handed or two-handed?
Correct.
Okay. I will look towards them and grip onto my Hopak two-handed, and as he is close enough for melee, I will aim it at him and just try and do a blip and bonk him on the head.
All right. So you go rushing towards him. You skid to a stop as he is climbing up out of the hatch. His head is just low enough for you to get a good shot. He stands upright. You can see his eyes glinting with malice. Roll your attack.
Do I get, I don't know, advantage? Because technically he's kind of stuck in one place.
No, he's not stuck. He's waiting his turn.
Well, then I rolled a 10.
I'm afraid a 10 does not hit, Teely, as you bring the Hopak down to try and hit him in the head, but instead he blocks it with his short sword. Anything else from you, Teely?
As I bring it down and try and hit him and he blocks it, just
You're making me look weak in front of my new friends!
And that's my turn.
Manto.
I am going to continue trying to disarm. I mean, if I kill this person in the process, wonderful. But seeing how many other people are coming, my focus is trying to get the sword away from him. So I am going to wipe again at his head.
All right.
Yep, nope, that's a 10.
A 10 does not hit as you see him wavering in front of you, staggered from your previous 2 blows, but this last blow to finish him off as it comes down, his eyes suddenly brighten and he sidesteps. Anything else, Manto?
I am going to smack the sword onto my shield very angrily. I am not used to a weapon this length, and the weight is all off. It's not good.
Excellent. Well, not excellent for you, but exciting at any rate. The assassins go. The one attacking you, Manto, lunges at you, seeming to have thrown off his damage, hitting AC 21.
Yep.
4 points of slashing damage. There's one that is lying dead on the ground in front of the guard next to the actor playing Raceland. The guard turns his attention towards the one that has come up out of the hatch in the back as that assassin strikes at the guard, hitting AC 19. Well, one of us is rolling well.
What's that like?
Doing 4 points of slashing as he brings down his short sword on the guard. The guard tries to block it with his longsword, but it was a feint as the assassin ducks underneath his longsword and slashes it up the side of his armor, finding a small area where he can make a cut. It's now the guard's turn. The guard attacks assassin. He hits AC 18, brings his longsword down upon the man, who ducks out of the way for the most part, but a long slash appears next to his ear. Blip, it is your turn.
All right, I am going to pop out from the little door hatch, swinging my wooden club around, and I'm going to charge the assassin in front of me. That looks like he's going to attack Teely.
Yes, you see your Kender friend attacking this man, and indeed, you can pop right up out of that hatch. He's literally right in front of you. You pop up, you can see between his legs, you see Teely fighting him, and on the other side of Teely, you see Manto fighting another one of these people dressed all in black.
I am going to bonk him on the head with my table leg maul, and that's a 17.
All right. It's quite a stretch to bonk him on the head, but you do it nevertheless. Jump up into the air as he ducks under a blow of Teely's hoop-hack. And as he ducks, he runs right into your club. Roll your damage.
That is 5 bludgeoning damage as I bring it down over his head.
All right. It makes a nice solid thwack as he grunts in pain.
Awesome.
Anything else, Blip?
With my... Have I used all of my act or all of my movement? If not, I would continue going forward to try to reach Manto.
All right, yes, you have movement to do so. Before you do, would you like to rage, Blip?
Why, yes. Blip is angry and my little vein above my eyes pops out and it starts throbbing as I become very angry and turn a beautiful shade of plum.
Nice. You leap from the hatch. You finish your attack and move. Where do you move? Do you risk the attack of opportunity as you move around this assassin in front of you, or do you try to stay in his reach?
I would plow straight through him. Club wailing like one of those little rock'em sock'em robots.
So what is your speed, Blip?
25 feet.
25 feet is enough to get you right to Manto's side, if you wish.
Yes.
But as you run past this assassin, he does gasp as he reels from the blow and curses as he sees you getting away. It reaches out with his short sword to try and cut the back of your leg as you run. He rolls a 12.
No dice.
You nimbly jump out of the way of his blade, passes harmlessly through the air. Lhasa.
Knowing in this moment that any spare moment would be wasted, I continue to rush down these stairs, stepping over the body of this man. And if I can, I'll try to squeeze past these two assassins, even though it may be at great risk to myself.
My goodness. All right. Well, neither of them have a melee weapon equipped. And as such, you are able to do it.
Would it be possible for me to squeeze through beside the curving side of the theater, or would I have to go around the outside?
So as you come running down the steps, you do see that the theater curves around, leading towards the area of the lobby. You are able to just barely squeeze around the assassin standing in your way by going right up against the smooth, polished wood of the auditorium. It is going to cost you an extra point of movement, however.
That's perfectly fine.
Lhasa, that is your movement. Any action for you?
No, I would have used my action to dash, as that was 60 feet.
I see, yes. Quickly flying down the stairs, ducking past the assassins that stand in your way. As you come around the corner and look into the lobby, you could see that the grand staircase on either side that you came up before, the main entrance onto the level that you were, you've come down a separate entrance, a separate exit, I should say, is completely on fire. And you can see the bodies of other guards lying in pools of blood. There is smoke and screaming. You can see dozens of people running from within the auditorium, trying to make their way outside. The doors are flung open as people begin fleeing the burning theater in droves. Anwir.
The guard that has felled the assassin near the prince. Where has that assassin's sword fallen?
Right next to him. As you look over there, you recognize this individual. This is Tullian Haxos.
Oh, the one who had put the assassin down.
Yes, this is the one who put the assassin down. He is the guide that took you around Gwynedd when you first arrived.
Excellent. I will take my movement and my bonus action to dash to rush across the stage, and I will run all the way across, stopping next to the assassin and picking up his sword. I believe that is 50 feet of movement.
Indeed it is. Do you take any extra action to actually use your cunning action?
Would it be interact with object to pick up that sword?
To arm yourself with a weapon that is unattended is a free action.
All right. In that case, I have one more square of movement, so I can make an attack on the remaining assassin near the prince with your permission.
You used your cunning action to dash.
That's right.
In which case, as you run across the stage, you quickly deduce that there is no way for you to get past the assassin that is fighting the character holding the shield with the Solemnic symbol on it. There's no way to get past that fight without perhaps exposing yourself to some danger. Do you still wish to risk it?
I am aware of that, and I wish to take that risk, yes.
This assassin is focused on the fight with this, by all appearances, a very well-armored individual, and does not take the attack of opportunity on you as you run past.
Oh, good. So, as I pick up the sword, I'm going to step to the other side of the prince so that the prince is buffeted by both me and Tullian Haxos, and with my remaining bit of energy in that moment, I'm going to stab forward at the assassin.
Very good.
I have rolled a dirty 20.
Well, that is a dirty 20 that's going to hit.
And I will get sneak attack since he is engaged with someone else, so I get a total of 7 points of piercing damage.
A deadly blow as you are able to bring your sword right under his guard and deep into his gut. Withdrawing it, he grunts and doubles over and looks up, but there's fierceness in his eyes. He still has another attack left in him. As you look at him, his face is covered with dark cloth and he has a hood. And it appears that at least a portion of his exposed face has been covered with black over and around his eyes. Anything else, Onweir?
No, I will make eye contact with Tulian and nod.
Tulian looks at you and he registers a brief moment of surprise, and then there's a half grin that immediately disappears as he fends off the attack from the assassin, who this time goes for the individual next to him. But Tulian is able to interpose himself and deflect the blade. Farron.
I will move down the stairs to follow Lhasa. And moving 20 feet down, look down at the guard. Does he look like he's breathing?
He does.
He does. Okay. I will stop, kneel down next to the guard, look up to Lhasa, place my hand upon my amulet, and I will speak the words Kibil Ozrak Imred Mahosus, and I cast Spare the Dying on the young man before me.
All right.
Knowing that no one's seen it properly apart from the assassins, whoever they're looking at.
Okay.
And then I will step 5 foot over him for my last 5 foot.
As you cast the spell, there is a shimmering light that emanates from your amulet, and the staircase glows for a moment with your power. As you reach down and touch this youth, can't be older than 21, 22. He had just taken what you think would be his last breath, and as it was about to expend, you put your hand on his chest and freeze that breath in his body, and he relaxes as his wounds close just enough to keep him alive. You see the arrows that are sticking in him push out and fall to either side of his body, as if pulled by an unseen hand.
I pick up the weapon that's laying beside him.
It is a longsword. That is your turn. Teely, back to the top.
I am going to attempt to strike at this man again because I am frustrated that it hasn't worked so far.
All right.
So I'm going to once again attempt to bonk him with a 12 this time to hit.
Well, a 12 is exactly what you needed to roll in order to hit him.
Oh, thank goodness. I will be doing it with both hands, so... that is 3 damage.
All right.
As I raise my arms all the way up with my hupak and attempt to hit him across the head.
He grunts, taking the blow, but your little arms just aren't enough to bring him down. But he staggers, shakes his head, and comes at you with a little less confidence, perhaps, than he had before.
Oops.
Anything else, Julie?
You know what? That is the end of my turn.
Very good. Brings us to Manto. Manto, there's insanity happening around you. There's fire in the auditorium. There are assassins jumping up onto the stage. There's men jumping down from the audience, running across the stage. And there's been magic, power that has blasted across the stage that you have never seen with your own eyes before.
Yes, I am very concerned as to what is going on, but my most immediate focus is the individual in front of me. Oh, thank goodness. And I am going to hit with a 15.
That is, in fact, a hit.
With my club, and that is going to be 4 points of damage.
As you bring this wooden sword down upon the head of this individual, it cracks in two, becoming useless, but the damage is done as it pierces the man's head and his eyes roll up into his skull as he falls to the ground, dead.
Excellent. Then I am going to pick up his... You said it was a short sword?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to pick up his short sword, and then I am going to jump off the stage and made my way closer to where I see an assassin that is sitting in some of the seating for the common folk.
Yes, he's not sitting there. He is standing up, and he is taking arrows. Looks like he has taken a total of 2 arrows out of his pack, and he has put them into fire that is burning merrily on the seats next to him and shooting them into various parts of the theater. The fire has continued to grow. Smoke is beginning to fill the auditorium, and you are beginning to have difficulty seeing, but you do nevertheless see him. As he sees you, he puts down his bow and comes running towards you, drawing his short sword. He attacks. Ooh, he has hit AC 22.
Jeez Louise, I'm getting obliterated by these people.
He does 2 points of slashing damage.
It's okay, I've been hit like 4 times though, so I am starting to feel it. Yes, you're starting to see blood just dripping.
Right, you can see your armor has large slashes in it as it is continuing to protect you, but it is not as effective as the real thing. Let's see, he finishes his turn. The one attacking you, Teely, attempts to do so again, hitting AC 16.
Yep, that'll hit. That'll do it.
All right, 6 points of slashing as Teely, you try to leap back to avoid it, but he slashes across your chest. As he does, your many beads and baubles protect you from most of the damage, but it knocks the wind out of you. That is his turn. The one that has just taken the blow from you, Onweir, attempts to pay you back in kind, but has rolled a 9.
That does not hit. It glances off of my leather armor.
The assassins that are nearby, Farron and Lhasa, outside the auditorium, one turns and fires an arrow at you, Lhasa, hitting AC 14.
As this projectile comes towards me, I shield my face and begin to speak words that come to mind. Unyielding crystal clear, keep all harm from drawing near. And as I do, a shimmering light begins to envelop me. But it seems to be becoming more and more taxing as I have searing headaches begin to lance through my mind.
I see, and you have cast shield, I assume.
Correct.
Very good. So as the arrow comes flying towards you, it seems to slow and then stop right in front of your face, falling harmlessly to the ground as the man gasps, his eyes wide, and you can hear him shout something in a language I do not think you speak. But there is a word in there that sounds awfully similar to magi. The other one fires at Farron with a 5.
Misses.
Completely missing. Now, Lhasa, I do believe that is the second leveled spell that you have completed this day. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
So that is shield just now and magic missile while we were in the auditorium, which means it is time for us to determine where in the heavens the 3 moons are. You are attuned, you are using an attunement slot to be affected by the phases of the moon, correct?
Most certainly.
Excellent. Then I need you to roll me 3d8s. That is to say, you need to roll 1d8 3 times and tell me what the number is each time.
Absolutely. 3, 1, and 5.
Just like that, with the dice, we control the wheel of the heavens over the lands of Krynn. That means consulting our chart here, that Solinari is in low sanction, and Lunatari and Nuatari, although Lhasa wouldn't necessarily know about Nuatari, but regardless, it is there, whether he knows about it or not. Both those moons are in high sanction, which means that this Constitution saving throw that I need from you can be rolled at advantage with 2 moons in high sanction.
Excellent. With that, we have a 16.
A 16 is a success. As you said before, the magic is taking its toll. You're beginning to feel some fatigue, but it is not enough to cause you any serious discomfort or lack of ability at this moment. And we have established where the moons are in the heavens. If you would be so kind, Lhasa, going forward as to mark their progress with each passing day, starting where they are here on this day, 3, 1, and 5 on our chart. Going forward, you will just mark the progression as each day goes by. Agreed?
It will be my pleasure to chart the moon's progress through the heavens.
Excellent. All right. That brings us to Tulian Haxos, who attempts to finish off what you have done, Anwir. He attacks with his longsword with a crit. As he does, the assassin had barely any life left as missed his attack against you, Anwir. Tulian comes forward, trips him, and stabs him through the heart. He lies still. Turns to you and hisses, Anwir, pointing towards the fellow with the red robe. This is the prince. We must get him out of here immediately.
Where can we take him?
He looks towards the corner of the theater where there is another curtain and gestures towards it. But just as he does, it opens and you see a guard tumble through, falling to the ground, bleeding profusely from a wound as another assassin steps forward. He turns to you and says, I don't know. I'm not familiar with this place. Your Grace. And as he says this, the fellow playing Raceland pulls his hood back, and you can see that it is, in fact, Jarven Merciador VI, who is covered with golden paint, looking around fearfully. Father! And he shouts up as you see combat continuing to ensue in the royal box. That is the end of his turn. That brings us to Blip.
Okay, my forward momentum from my last bonk attack, I'm going to continue charging forward to go for the assassin that is in front of Manto.
All right.
So I will charge forward and jump off the stage in a little plum-faced gully dwarf rage and attempt to whack him with my maul. That is a 7 to hit.
7 does not hit. You land next to Manto and slip for a moment as you come to bonk this assassin, but he ducks out of the way of a blow from Manto's short sword, and doing so also dodges your attack. Lhasa, it is your turn.
Although I wish to press forward as fast as possible, I have to spare worry for Farron, and so I turn to face one of the assassins behind me and bring my hands up to my mouth and begin to do what appears to be as you might breathe into a small fire. Oh, spark, awaken cinder and become flame. And as I blow outward, a boiling small ball of fire projects forward, attempting to strike him with firebolt.
All right.
Huh. That should be 18 to hit.
That will be a hit.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. His eyes widen as the fire strikes him. He grunts in pain as parts of his clothes briefly burst into flame, but he is still up.
Seeing that he has yet to yield to the magics that I'm wielding, I'm going to continue forward, doing my best to keep Farron in sight, because The actions here are beginning to unfold, somewhat like a half-remembered dream.
As you come around the corner, Lhasa, there is a blast of cold energy that just erupts in front of you, immediately extinguishing all the flames in your path, as a mighty work of magic is done, chilling the air, creating ice along the walls where once there had been flame. Your way is clear. The only thing in front of you is frozen bodies that were already dead. That brings us to Onweir.
I will make eye contact with Tulian and nod, and I will look at the prince and say, "Your father is as protected as he can be. Stay with us." And I will step forward and move away from the prince to engage with the assassin that is fighting Teely, and I will strike with my short sword.
All right, so Onweir, I do believe this is the first time you have met Teely.
Correct.
Although you certainly are aware of Blair's name, you just see a Kender.
All right. I have hit with an 18,
That is a hit.
and that is 12 points of piercing damage.
Doesn't even see you coming. As you sneak up next to him, the Kender ducks a blow, and as he stands up, you deftly snake your short sword out, cut his throat. He drops his blade, clutching at his throat, falling to his knees, and then dying.
I will take a look down at the Kender, and I will smile and say, "Your song was my favorite." And then I will run back to the prince.
I blush.
Farron.
I move towards the enemy and duck to the side and slink through, hitting the wall, turning round, and I swing the longsword that I picked up back at the man with the bow that shot up me and myself.
Very good.
And that's a 17 to hit, plus 3, dirty 20.
That is definitely a hit. He's still reeling from the firebolt.
And I am two-handed. Minimum damage, 4 damage.
4 damage.
Oh, that's terrible.
As he grunts, barely getting out of the way of your blow, still manages to take a large cut across his hand.
Let's be done.
And with that, as battle rages, magic, unlike which many of you have seen, coursing across the auditorium, fires raging to the roofs, ice, power, divine and arcane, blood, screams, and panic. The battle continues, but we will pick it up when we return next time. That brings us to the end of this episode. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Dragonlance, Echoes of Krynn, Dragons of the Hidden Flood. If you would like to know more about us, please visit our website at lawfulstupidrpg.com. We also invite you to join us for our live streaming games at twitch.tv/lawfulstupidrpg. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Until next time, Estularus Othmithas. Farewell.
This has been a Lawful Stupid RPG production.